In my last couple of videos, I discussed the basic elements common to many meditation techniques to help people look at the meditation practice in a different way to help their practice, and if they have some confusion between all the techniques out there, to help alleviate that confusion. One thing I found that I didn't discuss is the concept, the phenomenon of bliss, or feeling bliss during meditation. At least this is probably the reason most people decide to take up meditation. This is probably one of the reasons I started. And it was quite stereotypical that you have the very austere person high up in the mountains somewhere seeking bliss, and then the notion of nirvana and bliss. And that actually didn't come up in my last two videos at all. And I guess I was kind of wondering why. Well, I suppose first of all, feeling high states of bliss, extensive high states of bliss, is a advanced state, and it takes a lot of practice and a great increasing of concentration to reach that. Also, nirvana is supposed to be associated with great bliss, the final stage, of which I have not reached, I don't think. But there's more to it than why it wasn't in my videos. First of all, from the Buddhist literature, writings, they say that bliss comes from concentration, from improving concentration. States and periods of bliss can be felt, experienced. This is before enlightenment. This is one feels bliss at enlightenment, and one can also feel bliss not upon reaching enlightenment. And one can improve and lengthen the period of bliss through concentration. This bliss, the Buddhists would say, acquired by concentration meditation, while pleasant, they often emphasize that it shouldn't be mistaken for the real goal, which is enlightenment. And it shouldn't be falsely coveted. Secondly, it doesn't provide any enlightenment, or it doesn't provide any insight. The path of right mindfulness, the path of insight, is not a concentration type of meditation, and the experience of then bliss would actually be less blissful, more difficult, more miserable. Though many people take meditation up for this practice of bliss, for this search of bliss, and for the experience of bliss, nevertheless it provides no insight. It doesn't provide much improvement to your life at all. And once they leave then the moment of bliss and go back into their regular lives, there's no advantage. Well, that's those are the main points. When do you feel bliss? Though that after sitting for once you become more used to sitting, after you sit, let's say 20 minutes in the morning, or let's say in the evening, maybe 40 minutes. Once the the kind of emotional cycles and reflections or commiserations of the day, our habits are kind of broken, the mind enters kind of a different state. I don't know if it's the relief or what, but there's a time of a certainly rather blissful, pleasant experience. It does certainly seem it could be a metaphor for something heavenly. Nevertheless, it provides no lasting effect, and that's probably the key and main point, that it is not, certainly in the Buddhist sense, it's not an aspired, one doesn't aspire, first of all, for high states of bliss. In Buddha's case, he had reached, they say there's 4 levels of concentration you can leave, each accompanied by greater and greater bliss. He had apparently reached the first level of concentration prior to gaining enlightenment. After gaining enlightenment, it's considered a post-enlightenment hobby or activity to further attain these high levels of concentration and bliss. One can attain them prior to enlightenment. They do not contribute to enlightenment. One comment I did read from a monk was that it's at least a wholesome hobby, so to say, drug-free way of feeling good. In the practice, they then say that when you feel these moments of bliss, I think they say that you should take time and appreciate it. However, the basic principles of mindfulness still count, or still apply. That you say, I see the up and coming rising bliss. I am experiencing blissful sensation. It feels like this. This is what I'm seeing. And then continue on your way without trying to covet it, go back to it, reach it, make it your goal. Being that this is all part of the experience, some meditation practices focus solely on bliss. I think, like in yoga, the pranayama practice is an example. Focusing. I'm not 100% sure what the goal exactly of pranayama is. Controlling the breath to feel blissful things. I'm not sure. I'm not 100% sure on that fact. So I think for monks that are spending hours and hours and hours a day doing meditation, it's perfectly reasonable to want to spend some of that time in what you would call this good hobby. However, for people working and doing 1 hour a day, it doesn't advance the practice at all. In terms of feeling better in your life, insight, understanding a problem, controlling your emotions provides endless aid and satisfaction to your life, and it's forthcoming. It comes quickly from practicing insight and meditation. I suppose the only problem is, though, that there's a seemingly endless stream of activities and events in life which cause turmoil that you have to then kind of digest in an insight practice. Also, insight practice, you see what is going on. You will then come to observe. It will then become evident that how you're in control of your breath, you can try controlling your breath. And if you do it with observation, and you can see that it calms you down, it has like a physical effect of reducing your heart rate, and so on. This is insight you've gained into your body. This is insight you've gained into your mental processes, and you can apply it in your life as you feel free, necessary. And so then that is benefit. That's obviously beneficial. Nevertheless, the primary goal is this practice of gaining insight. The primary goal isn't to reduce your heart rate. The simple fact of the matter is that when you realize what your mind is doing, good things follow, and that is then the path. So that's the end, I think, of this short video. A little bit of summary. Then, as we talked about concentration, bliss, and health impacts, that certainly according to the Buddhist Theravadan tradition, the main goal is gaining insight. Along this path, you can experience bliss, you can learn and experience and see how controlling your breath can bring down your heart rate. And along this path also, the insight you gain will help your emotions and help you battle the battles in life. And then the emphasis is on then gaining this path of insight. Thank you.